Kyle Filipowski has emerged as a somewhat polarizing prospect in the upcoming draft. On one hand, there's a lot to like. He's got an endless motor, high IQ, and exceptional fluidity and mechanics for a 7-footer. But his lack of power and athleticism could make him a tweener at the next level. By that, we mean he won't have the physicality or verticality to hold his own as a center, but he also might not have the skills and mobility to transition into a starting wing for NBA teams. At this point, he's projected as a possible lottery pick, and his upside fits the bill for a modern multi-skilled NBA player. Taking all this into consideration, we decided to take a deeper look and break down Duke's 7-foot star. So let's get right into it. One of the first things any fan will notice about Filipowski is his high, relentless work ethic. He's not the strongest or most explosive athlete by any stretch of the imagination, but his compete level is as high as any prospect. He's always hustling and battling every single possession. His high energy rubs off on his teammates and makes the whole team play better. In the offensive low post, he's not going to beat NBA centers with size and strength, but Filipowski shows a little bit of wiggle combined with smooth footwork that allows him to finagle his way to the rim and get the ball in the bucket. This is evident in his career field goal percentage of 53.3%, which might not be exceptional for a center, but is still impressive for a guy who's certainly not afraid to shoot from the outside. But by our estimate, Filipowski will never become an elite interior scorer. While at 7 feet, he'll definitely provide some scoring from the inside. It'll be his ability to make high-level basketball plays further away from the bucket that will dictate his offensive capabilities in the NBA. And as a three-point shooter, we're excited about what Filipowski brings to the table. While not a lights-out shooter yet, his consistent shooting mechanics and steady improvement are highly encouraging. As a freshman, Filipowski only shot .282 from outside the arc, but he has drastically improved in the back half of his sophomore season and is currently shooting just above 35% from three so far this season. And his 33.3% on catch-and-shoot threes this season indicate a promising trajectory. Remember, Filipowski is 7 feet tall and only 20 years old. In our opinion, it's inevitable that Filipowski at the very least will develop into a center capable of stretching out defenses at the NBA level, but he also has a pretty impressive handle and impressive coordination for his size. It's unlikely that he's going to create his own shot at the next level, but he can put the ball on the floor when he chooses to, and even when he doesn't score, often he gets to the line, which is particularly valuable because he can knock down his free throws consistently. He also shows the knack and feel for cutting off ball to the bucket and scoring inside, a skill that, if he continues to improve, could become one of his best assets at the next level. And for a 7-footer, he displays really good court vision, which is showcased by his 2.9 assists per game. Whether driving to the basket, in the pick and roll, or at the top of the key, Filipowski has the vision and desire to make quick decisions and find his open teammates for open shots. It all sounds good and dandy, but remember, Filipowski has some weaknesses that he's unlikely to overcome. As mentioned, he's really going to struggle as an interior scorer on offense because he isn't particularly strong and lacks vertical. It's one thing to wiggle his way in and score in college, but athletic rim protectors in the NBA are going to eat him up for lunch. Instead, for Filipowski to become a valuable asset on offense, he's going to have to turn himself into more of a power forward. Players like Kelly Olynyk and Mo Wagner both play roles similar to what we could expect Filipowski to develop into at the next level on offense. Guys that aren't necessarily stars, but are excellent contributors on offense. Wagner is exceptional at cutting to the basket and slithering his way through defenses as an off-the-ball threat. And Olynyk has become lights out from three and is an exceptional passer. These are the types of traits that could highlight Filipowski's offensive arsenal. But in order to become the type of starter in all situations, it won't just be Filipowski's development on the offensive side. It'll come majorly down to defensive development as well. As mentioned, even though Filipowski is 7 feet, he isn't imposing on the interior. He could come off the bench as a center in small ball situations, but what's more likely is that he's going to need to develop into more of a power forward. And there are some indications that he'll be able to do that, and potentially even at a high level. For his size, he's got good enough lateral quickness to not completely embarrass himself when defending college guards. In fact, he's pretty darn good at shuffling his feet and competing. But still, it's going to take plenty of work to become a capable perimeter defender at the next level. His ability to guard the perimeter and switch defensively is going to be a huge difference maker in his development. He's really good at making reads and timing his switches, which is a really good start, but he's going to need to put hours upon hours towards improving his strength and quickness to be viable at the NBA level. Some power forwards are defensive juggernauts in the NBA. Filipowski won't ever be that. His bread and butter will be as an offensive connector piece. But you can't teach 7 feet. And even though he isn't a dominant rim protector, Filipowski currently has a 7.5 block percentage and limits opponents to finishing 45% of the shots at the rim when he's the primary defender. So it's not like he's completely inadequate down there. But there are far better interior defenders. Instead, his defensive value will lie in his ability to switch, defend the perimeter, and protect the paint with decent rim protection and help defense. What does bode well for Filipowski is his relentless work ethic. He's got one of the highest engines in the entire draft, and his hustle could cause enough disruption to make up for some of the plays he misses on due to his athletic shortcomings. To wrap things up, Filipowski is still a project, and there is a lot of uncertainty regarding how good he can become in the NBA. If he can develop into a player that profiles like Kelly Olynyk or Mo Wagner on offense, but can also utilize his engine and quickness to become a better rebounder who can switch and guard the perimeter, that would make him an extremely valuable asset in the modern NBA. But we want to know what you guys think. How do you project Kyle Filipowski at the next level? Do you want your team to use a lottery pick on him? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more sports news and insights.